Thursday morning there, boys and girls. It's the next best thing to a Friday, and we got to see what we're feeding you. Out at Camden Fairview for breakfast, pre-K, it's maple cinnamon pancakes, fresh fruit, and milk. Now, for the elementary, it's going to be maple pancake sausage sandwiches, fresh fruit, orange juice, apple juice, and milk. And for you middle and high schoolers, it's either going to be a Pop-Tart or cereal, raspberry rainbow yogurt, or maple cinnamon pancakes. You get fresh fruit, Bug Bites grams, orange juice, apple juice, and milk. Pre-K lunch at Camden Fairview, pulled pork barbecue sandwiches, baked beans, diced pears, and milk. For the elementary, pulled pork barbecue sandwiches, baked beans, broccoli florets, diced pears, fresh fruit, and milk. For the middle and high school, it's pulled pork barbecue sandwiches or barbecue chicken, baked beans, salad bar will be open, diced pears for fresh fruit. You get a dinner roll and milk. Out in Hampton, Thursday breakfast is pizza, breakfast pizza, or a breakfast bun and graham crackers. You get fruit and then milk or juice. Lunch at Hampton's going to be a chicken strips with a roll, creamed potatoes, broccoli and cheese, and fruit. Out in Bearden, breakfast is pizza, breakfast pizza, and then lunch is going to be chicken fried steak, mashed taters and gravy, pinto beans, and fruit. And finally, out in Harmony Grove, that's where we are, cereal and toast for breakfast along with fresh fruit. And then lunch is going to be chili with cheese sauce offered, french fries, raw carrots, crackers, strawberry cups, and fresh fruit. If you don't want that, have a burger and chips. That's what we're feeding you on the next best thing to a Friday with your menus. I'm Day.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Today's a day of remembrance across the country.
The bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Today is a day to remember.
The Japanese launched a devastating surprise attack on U.S. military forces in Pearl Harbor.
Japanese planes attacked the Pearl Harbor Naval Base in Hawaii.
Prompted the U.S. to enter World War II.
Let us pray in silence and remember those of our comrades who have fallen.
National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day.
All right, start the show.
Wake up! Some of you people need to wake up.
No, you should have done that softer.
No. I did it soft at 6, and I was real somber, and you know, I mean, I mean it. But some of these people out here just need to wake up. I mean, you know, come on, guys and gals. Yeah, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Not everybody on this planet is nice. We live in a wild world where not everybody gives two craps about their neighbor. Just saying. Yes, we would rather live in a world where everybody loves everybody and there's never any violence, but that's not the world that we've got yet. Trust in God, we'll get there one of these days. It was 82 years ago in 1941 the Japanese launched a surprise attack on the U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor, forcing the United States into World War II. Today is a national day of remembrance for that fact.
And it was not the Germans.
It was not the Germans, Doc Bryce.
As previously
disclosed here on the Y95 morning show. So just saying. Okay. Let's see. And what is this 2024 ballot draw for the primary election stuff?
You don't know what that is?
No. Go ahead and explain that, would you?
It's the good stuff. That's how you put a recipe together. You take all the ingredients and you put it in a pot and you mix it up real good. Yeah. So that's what they're doing.
And all the candidates are welcome to participate?
Anybody's welcome to participate if they want to. What it is it's basically a draw to figure out who goes in what order on the ballot.
Oh, I see.
For the primary.
Because you always vote for the guy on top, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's my rule of thumb when I go to the voting booth.
Whoever's on
top
of that category.
Yeah, I that's X.
You always vote for the first position.
Let me know how that works out for you. Okay?
Most people usually vote with a certain letter designation next to it. They don't care what the name is. If it's got an R, sure. If it's got a D, okay. If it's got a L, I don't know.
Yeah, So.
Yeah, because L's supposed to be libertarian, but most people are like, oh, that's L for loser.
Loser.
And then some of them have a G next to them.
God, really?
It's like G.
Gee.
No, Green Party.
Yeah, there you go.
And then, of course, you got some that are I, which then they think that person is conceited.
Well,
and
because
egotistical.
everything's about I.
Yeah, and so which is independent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of this just really does. You just made everything so much more complicated than it has to be.
No, just vote with whoever's got the R next to their name. Vote for the one who's got R next to their name.
Doc Bryce at YesRadioWorks.com. Okay.
Do not take the advice of Doc Bryce.
So, if you're interested in going and playing with the ballot draw for the primary election at the Washita County Courthouse, it's going on today.
Yeah, today at noon.
At noon.
Now, our fearless leader will not be on that.
Oh, is she not?
No.
She said she doesn't care?
No.
Because I know she's running and doing stuff
Right.
and things.
So the primary is for.
Can we even talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We just can't. We can't tell everybody, hey, what you need to do is go vote for.
Well, yeah, you need to vote for. No, we can't do that.
No,
right?
no. We could say we support.
Well, yeah, and we do support.
Well, of course, because our paychecks depend on it. Right?
Boy, is that
I don't know. Is that illegal? This endorsement paid by my paycheck.
Yes. So, you have no idea.
No, the primary is for the candidates that have somebody in their same party that are running against them.
Oh, it's a party!
Yeah, so, So, yeah, it's going to get down. We're going to have a disco ball and everything else. But so, like Helen, she's running against Andre Tonio or something like that. But anyhow, she's the only Republican. And Andre's the only Democrat. See,
right.
They're not competing against other Democrats and other Republicans. So they've already got it narrowed down to two candidates.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So this one, the primary, is to narrow down however many Republicans you've got running for that position, however many Democrats or independents or whatever that you got running for that position, to narrow it down to two candidates. And then those who don't have a...
And they just throwing all these names in a hat.
Yeah, and then
rolling dice.
And then they'll put them in order on who goes and on top and who
Well,
goes
it's nice to know that we have reached this level of technological advances to make it to where we can just draw out of a hat.
Just ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do.
I mean, AI is here to stay. Why not let AI run our election?
All right, guys.
Who will make the best president? AI.
Boy, this is going downhill fast. Okay. What do you mean? Yeah, Tim McGraw. Come on now.
Well, congratulations, Tim McGraw, not only CMA Winner of the Year, but now
President
of the
United States.
All hail the chief.
Woo-hoo. Yeah. All right, guys. Oh, and we're doing Santa's sleigh full of surprises, right? So the list today, all right? Are you ready? The jewelry box, ponying up $25.
Dang, I'm not ready.
Wait, well, too late. Idani Wholesale Nursery, ponying up a globe and stand for $110.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up.
Perfect's, $100 gift certificate. Speckled Rooster, $100 gift certificate.
Can't spell fast.
Dixon Designs, $100 gift certificate. Judy's Flowers, $166 in gifts.
I lost my place.
XOXO, $40 gift certificate. The Murphy Arts District are giving up a pair of comedy tickets in March.
Careful there.
Country Village Sporting Good, $100 gift certificate. Hollis Evans Floral, that MOVA globe, man, that thing is neat. It's worth $180. And Holt Builder Supply, $100 worth of Valspar paint. Mm-hmm. So we will go ahead and readdress that here in a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Let's see. Also. Let's see. Yeah, I thought I had this up and ready to rock and roll, and apparently I do not.
Uh-huh.
So, and apparently I deleted it too.
Oh.
So, yeah, we'll just move on. It's time for the round table.
The round table.
Yes, we're brought to you each and every weekday morning by our friends out at Cabin Rural Health Services. Cabin's on a mission, baby, to meet the health care needs of the folks in Calhoun, Clark, Bradley, Miller, Hempstead, Lafayette, Washita, and Union counties. Call 870-798-4299. See what Cabin can do for you. Stories, Floor, and Carpet, 2004 Lorraine and El Dorado. They do custom tile backsplashes, countertops, bathrooms, and more. And they got this really neat website that you're invited to visualize on.
Visualize.
Yeah, it didn't work that way. Anyway, so see your new flooring project online, storiesfloor.com. Upload your photo into their visualizer. And see your options. 870-862-9446. Mitch Lowe's Body Shop. Auto body, collision repair, framework, glasswork, refinishing. Accidents do happen. So if you put it in the ditch, you better call
Maria
at Mitch Lowe's Body Shop. 837-2560. Everybody's Antiques. Down in El Dorado, corner of Bradley and West Hillsboro. They have 120 booths, 31,000 square feet to explore. And you can shop them online at everybodiesantiques.com. Call 870-875-1444. OCMC's CDU reminding you, you are not alone. Addiction's tough, especially during the silly season. So make that choice. Call 870-836-1289, 1-800-222-1289. All calls are confidential.
Make good choices.
Yes, please. Let's see. St. John's Place in Fordyce and Washita Nursing and Rehab in Camden. The choice for all of your rehabilitation and long-term care needs. Oh, look, they provide award-winning short-term therapy services, too. So, stjohnsplaceofarkansas.com and washitanursing.com, the respective websites. And finally, by our dear, dear friends out at First Choice Family Care, 476 Hospital Drive in Camden. They're now open Monday through Friday from 7 to 7 for all your medical needs. Dr. Smith in the house. Good morning, Dr. Smith.
Good morning.
So, 870-800-9002. You got all sorts of information there at myfirstchoicecare.com too, right?
Yes. There's some good information there, and you can follow the Facebook page or the TikTok if you are a talker.
Yeah. Don't be a talker.
Sounds like trucker talk
Yeah,
right there.
There's a whole lot of double talk going on around here. All right, you guys, hang on. Give me just a minute to get organized, and then we'll be right back. Good morning, South Arkansas. It's time for the Washita River Report for Thursday, December 7th. In Camden, the current gauge reading is 8.45 feet. Arkadelphia currently at 4.23 feet. At Thatcher Lock and Dam, the current depth gauge reading is 77.33 feet. And at Morro Bay State Park, the gauge reading is 68.3 feet. There are no river warnings currently in effect, so let's talk about state landmarks like this. Big River Crossing. It's one of the most famous tourist attractions here in Arkansas. It's nearly a mile long and runs across the Mississippi River in West Memphis, Arkansas. The bridge is the longest pedestrian bridge on the Mississippi River and the longest bike pedestrian rail bridge in the U.S. You can go across the bridge for free every day of the year, and there are over 100,000 LED lights on the bridge to create a light show for holidays and events. Stay up to date with your current river conditions right here every weekday morning.
It's time to check the Radio Works South Arkansas Community Bulletin Board.
Celebrate the birth of our Savior and embrace the true meaning of Christmas. Prepare Him Room will be Friday, December 8th at Cullendale First Baptist Church, 1850 Cash Road in Camden. The speaker is Christy McClellan with worship by Laura Cooksey. Fellowship time with appetizers and desserts begins at 6:30 p.m. Simulcast begins at 7 p.m. with a time of worship followed by teaching. All ladies aged 13 and up are invited to attend.
It's time for Hampton Happenings, brought to you every Tuesday and Thursday by our friends out at ProMed Ambulance. Don't forget, their priority care enrollment is underway. Not much going on down in Hogskin areas, but we do want you seniors, if you want a senior ad in the yearbook, to let the yearbook staff know by January 15th or sooner. Payment and forms will be due on February the 19th. That's what's happening in Hampton. It's brought to you by these fine folks right here As you're making your list and checking it twice, is your priority care ambulance membership still unchecked? We have good news. The open enrollment period has been extended until December 31st. Stay prepared and protect those you love by joining now. Affordable annual fees are $39 per year for individuals or just $69 per year for total care. Coverage for your entire household. Don't delay. Contact ProMed and join today. From everyone at ProMed Ambulance, thank you for the trust you place in us. We wish you a very Merry Christmas, and in the coming New Year, always know you'll get priority care when it matters the most. Your Thursday forecast comes with mostly sunny skies and temperatures reaching near 63. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low near 46. For Friday, it'll be mostly cloudy with temperatures near 67. Then on Friday night, we do have a slight chance at showers, mostly cloudy, overnight low near 59. Saturday, showers and thunderstorms are likely. Temperatures should reach near 66. Out of the Radio Works Weather Center, I'm JJ.
Good morning, people.
What's up, Doc? Is there a doctor in the house?
Why is that?
Give it to me straight, Doc.
Give it to me straight, Doc.
Well, you know what they say. An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yes.
Nobody says a candy bar a day keeps the doctor away.
Attention. Turn your head and call.
It's showtime.
All right, in the studios with Dr. Smith from First Choice Family Care.
Good morning.
Congratulations, number one, Dr. Smith.
Yes.
On the new location.
Yes.
That is coming soon.
Generating a lot of discussion. Although somebody that, apparently works at the site mistakenly told someone it was someone else's clinic. This is First Choice Family Care. We're going to have our groundbreaking soon. And that is right beside AutoZone in the old Family Dollar off of California.
Yes. And
they say, my contractor says it'll be 5 months from when they started. Then they started right after Thanksgiving, I think.
All right. So we're into April, May?
Yeah.
Something like that?
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, congratulations.
I mean,
congratulations.
we were just waiting on bank stuff. And the second that contractor, man, that we're using Diversified, they were eager to get in, and they obviously already had a plan. Because I thought, they're going to come in and it's like they had stuff going first day, but within the first week, the interior walls were down, and so they were right on it.
Well, and that's going to be a huge clinic, especially in comparison to where you are now.
Oh, God, it don't take much to be bigger than that.
Well, I mean, it's going to be 5, 6, 7 times the size.
And what I'm hoping, we're going to do 2 phases of build out, just because with rising costs of construction. When we first started planning this, which has been in the plans for over a year, but when we first started working on this, we had the full plan, and then when the price of lumber went up so much, and it really hasn't come back down much. And I think people that work in those industries would know that those costs are up. So we've built it into 2 phases. So we'll have a phase 1 and get transitioned and everything, and then have a second phase. So that'll be more accessible. And with that, we are intentionally trying to build extra space because I'm trying to get more specialists recruited to come here. Because I've got quite a network of friends through my professional connections, and I'm hoping that the people that I refer to, that we can try to get some of these specialists to even come down once a quarter. It doesn't even have to be like a monthly visit for a lot of things, but just there's some specialties that we just don't have good representation of, and you have to drive all the way to Little Rock to see them.
Absolutely. And you're going to be able to expand the services that you offer, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, that's basically what we're talking about here.
What our goal is as we move into the new building, have more space, that we would also be able to offer walk-in availability. Because right now, we have patients that need to be seen. We need to have our schedules scheduled right? People need to be able to know when their doctor's appointment is, but it doesn't leave much availability for walk-in. We try to squeeze people in, work-ins, cancellation lists, everything we can do, and we save some appointments for same day, but it's limited. I don't really have walk-in capabilities right now. But in the future, that's definitely going to be, we want to start offering some walk-in for our patients, and then also vaccinations, because currently we can't offer vaccinations because you need a vaccination fridge, and we don't have any space.
If you haven't been to First Choice Family Care, well, you should go.
I've got the best office manager, and she's currently in what used to be a closet.
Quite literally.
There's like 2 or 3 people that share my office at any point in time.
You know, I'm pretty sure I was seen in a closet once or twice. But, no, I mean, you know, great folks down at First Choice Family Care. They really care, all right? And they're really, really great at their job. But the new digs are going to give you so many more opportunities to service the community.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, congratulations one more time on that.
We're very excited.
I know you have worked so doggone diligently and hard on this. So,
and it's not like I have all that free time.
Oh, yeah, you know, while you're not doing anything, you delivered a new resident?
Yep.
Over the evening?
Technically, I think it was yesterday, but close to not yesterday. And a new little girl in our midst.
Well, congratulations to the proud mama and daddy.
There's bad sides about getting woken up at night, but there is just something so special that I love so much about I am literally the first person to touch this human, like in my hands, and it's just a ball of potential. What is this? This little girl has her whole life ahead of her as to what she's going to do, and that it's amazing. Think of who wrote a book that touched you. Somebody held that. The Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon, Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world. You know, these people that change lives, somebody held them that first time.
Smacked them on their little butt.
Ma'am, cry. She was not a crier.
Really?
She's just sitting there looking. She could be so smart.
Yeah.
She's already trying to look around and figure out what's up.
She's like, oh, yeah, no.
She looked like a little baby. Like, she had her little hand by her face, and her big brown eyes were just looking. She looked like some sort of Photoshop baby.
Well, once again, congratulations to the family on their newest addition.
Hey, but that does bring up a topic I'd like to talk about.
All right, go right ahead.
This is cold and flu season, and little babies are just representative of a group of patients. So there's people that are sensitive, right? They are either frail, like with the newborns, right? Their immune system
can't fight off the viruses
right.
or whatever, yeah.
Right. So, and then there's also even just the elderly, and so flu prevention is important.
Absolutely.
And what do we got going on?
Well, we have, the cold and flu season that has really, really kicked into high gear. And, there are flu vaccines available all over the place. I know the health department's doing them. I know you can schedule them with your pharmacist. And you can pretty much get the flu vaccine anywhere that it's offered right now. It's not being held back or anything like that, right?
No. And if you're over the age of 65, you need the high-dose flu vaccine. So there's good evidence to show
Double
that
dose.
You need extra.
Well, I mean, now the flu, the true flu.
Yes.
Now, I mean, there's a difference between
I felt like
cold
the flu.
And the flu.
So they're all viruses. They're all
absolutely. Several people say they've had the flu.
Exactly.
But hadn't got a clue what the flu really is.
I had a patient in my office I think it was right before Thanksgiving. It looked like the flu, right? But when we actually did the test, it was negative. So I did a send-off test because the in-office test isn't as accurate. And because we were going into Thanksgiving and this person really wanted to know, like, what they should do. And that is a sweet, honest person that's protecting their loved ones and everyone else. And it was para-influenza. So para-influenza is literally, it means flu-like illness. It looks like the flu. You feel like you had the flu, but
it's not.
But
necessarily
the medicine for the
flu
doesn't treat it because it's not the flu.
It walks like a duck, squawks like a duck,
but it's not a duck.
But it's not a duck. Okay.
And so, so with that, flu cases are on the rise. The health department sets out a weekly summary report of viral monitoring in our state. And last week there had been 580 cases of flu B, 247 cases of flu A, and 19 unfortunate people that had both. Sounds terrible.
That's the double whammy.
And then
it does walk like a duck.
Between last week and this week, it jumped from 500 something to over 700 something. So we're definitely seeing the rise. I'm seeing patients that are being put in the ER, being put in the hospital. That's a big cost, you know, even just the time off of work.
And again, the actual flu can actually hurt you.
Yes.
All right. I mean, you know, it leads to other things.
4 Arkansans have died since October from the flu.
See, and that's a fairly short amount of time.
I mean, just 2 months, really?
Yeah. I mean, you know,
that's 2 people a month?
You know, and 1 is too many.
And
all right,
so
2 is twice as many.
We don't know any of the details, except for that they were over the age of 65. What I do know is that when you have vaccination, you are less likely to have the virus. You're even less likely to have severe symptoms, and you're much less likely to die. That's what vaccines are for. Vaccines may not prevent you from having XYZ thing, but it can prevent you from dying from XYZ thing, and that's why we create vaccines. That's why some viruses don't ever get vaccines, because they don't kill people usually, right? We justify vaccination and modulation of the immune system when this virus is known to kill a certain number of people every year. Or dismember. Like,
you know what? We're going to bump you right on up the priority chain.
Like
there.
polio might not kill you, but you'll never be the same afterward. So if it doesn't have a significant mortality with it, and I was talking with a patient this week because she was concerned about getting an iron infusion. And I get it. Any treatment that we do, there is a risk and benefit to having that treatment done. Vaccinations, IV treatments, medications, they all have a risk and a benefit. And not only do they have a risk and benefit of taking that treatment, they have a risk and benefit of not taking that treatment, right? And so you have to weigh that, and your provider should be able to walk you through with what's the benefit of taking this treatment, what's the risk of taking this treatment, what's the risk of not taking the treatment.
Absolutely.
Right? And I would say that anyone that comes to me concerned about vaccine, I best not have seen you with a soda in the last year. You guys want to worry about stuff that's bad for your body? Get rid of the stuff that we know for certain. There's good, hard data that it is not good for you.
You know, prior to going to First Choice Family Care, I was guilty of drinking a 12-pack of sodas a week.
Which is not bad.
No,
in the grand scheme of things.
Not horrible, all right. But since then, I'm down to maybe a 12-pack a year.
Yeah.
All right. And it's just being aware of the situation. You know, I mean, it's not just that, well, I'm fat and I would really like to not gain any more weight, which is true. But, you know, at the same time, it affects the body in many, many different ways. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I mean, Dr. Smith's philosophy of make one thing healthier.
What can you do today?
What can you do today? It really makes a difference. So.
Because you don't become a new person overnight. You know,
no, you can bet your sweet bippy it took me 55, 56, how old am I? Anyway, it took me a good number of years to get to this. Mm-hmm. I didn't start out like this. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get back.
And it's that progress, not perfection. The 12-step programs have that. That's a slogan that most 12-step programs do is progress, not perfection. Because this idea that perfection, like that, and I remember hearing it, if you can't do it right, don't do it, is a horrible idea, right? Because if you fear that you can't do it right, you will never try it, right?
Absolutely.
And what, in the grand scheme of things, I call these like core truths that I want to teach my children.
Right.
I don't want to teach my children that. I don't want them to think there's no reason to try if I can't do it perfect.
Absolutely.
I want them to try everything.
Yes.
Right? And you may find out you're better than you thought you were. And you may find out you really suck at it, and you should probably practice.
You should switch to the piano. Okay? Oh, speaking of the piano. Yeah, so over at the event center across
Christmas
the street,
open house
right?
today.
There, what time is that starting? Do you know right off the top of your
I
head?
think it's from like 10 to 2.
Doc Bryce, you over there?
Yeah, but I'd have to
I think it's 10 to 2.
It's during the work hours.
Yeah, usually it's on a Saturday, but there was a complication with 2 things so I think it's 10 to 2. And one of the local
Open house 10 to 3 at the event center at Fairview Park.
There it is.
Yeah, way to go, Doc. Appreciate you being on top of things. The event center, of course, located at 2470 Fairview Road. The gym is decorated in its Christmas finest, and we'll have refreshments as well as live music presentations from local talent.
Yeah, so one of the local piano teachers has a slot, and her students will come play during that slot. So you can come mingle and appreciate Christmassy stuff and support your community.
Absolutely. Oh, and it's free to attend.
Yeah.
So make your plans now. Come on down if you're not doing anything from 10 to 3.
Especially lunchtime. If you don't have lunch plans.
Come on down, hang out, man. I mean, check out the kids and check out all the fun stuff. Now, this is the one that they're doing gift wrapping and stuff like that? Are they? Is vendors at this one? Or is this
I
one
haven't been able to make it
come
in
and
the
look?
past due to call and different things.
Right.
So, so I can't tell you.
It's
but it's
supposed
like
to be
a Christmas
fun.
surprise.
Yes.
Just come.
So yeah.
And be
Get your butt
Christmassy
up,
surprise.
come on down, okay? All right. Also, I wanted to talk just a minute. Now, we always try to bring up these observances. So, National Hand Washing Awareness Week is going on this week.
Which is part of like the flu. You can prevent viruses by wearing a mask if you're sick, not going within 6 feet of people, washing your hands frequently. All of those things help prevent viruses. They all have their limitations, but when you put up several barriers, you're less likely to transmit viruses.
All right. It's also National Safe Toys and Gifts Month.
I don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, that would be one of those things where you got to actually consider the child's age and all of that neat stuff. You don't give a 2-year-old Legos.
Or lead-based toys.
Well, and there are some toys.
You try not to, anyway.
There's a specific toy that I've never bought, and so I don't go anywhere near it because they're little water beads, and if an infant or toddler eats them, they will swell and can cause a blockage over time. But it's like hours later by the time it absorbs enough water. So that's probably significant. There's a mortician that I follow. Her name's Lauren, the mortician. She goes through all these toys that she finds, and as a mortician, she says, as a mother, I will never own this toy. I will never own this toy. And I find it super interesting.
There you go. Also, we want to talk a little bit about diabetes.
Yes. It's the national observance is the diabetes. I can't find the name of the observance, but with that, foot care, I think it's helpful.
Yeah, see, that foot care is near and dear to me because I know entirely too many people that are losing their feet.
And it's almost
All
always
right.
diabetes.
And yeah, I mean, that's just one of them things, I mean, so you've got to take care of your toes. All right. See, when I was on vacation last week, it was also my birthday. So my daughters took me down and got me a pedicure.
Yes.
Now, I ain't never done this before, right? And I got to tell you, that I didn't know if I wanted anybody messing with my toes.
Right.
But, baby, I am getting another appointment soon, okay? Well, no, it was just really great.
This is going to blow your mind. It's estimated that nearly 70% of all amputations are diabetic.
See, and that
70%.
How many of those 70% could be avoided?
I would argue that a bunch of them, most of them, if not all. Those are going to be poorly controlled diabetics, or it's combination with something else. So I've had a patient that had what was called auto amputation, And that means that his body would shut off blood flow to a tiny piece of his finger, and it would turn dark, and it would turn black, and then it would dry up and fall off.
See, that's just bad.
He had a vasculitis that's called Brugger's disease or thromboangiitis obliterans. So, blood vessel obliterans. And
that's horrible.
It's caused by smoking. So smoking actually increased your risks for that amputation.
Yeah, don't smoke.
So, and he kept smoking. But so having being on dialysis is another risk for that damage to the blood vessels. It's hard on the blood vessels. But all of those things, your risk for kidney disease is increased by diabetes, risk for limb loss, risk for blindness. All of those diabetics take the lead in causes of that. And so when you're talking about feet, there's a lot of prevention you can do. One, and I found this pocket of my own patients that hadn't had their yearly foot exam. You should, as a diabetic, be having a foot exam with your doctor every year. And so that was one of our goals with trying to find out who hadn't had their foot exam and developing a protocol for making sure that people were getting their foot exams regular, because it should be yearly. Diabetics should be looking at their feet every day. If you don't have the flexibility to look at the bottom of your foot or between your toes, you can use a hand mirror. That way you don't have to get quite as far, or someone else can look, but you can start having some skin breakdown before you get a real wound, and someone else, you can see that maybe better than you can feel it.
Well, now, don't a lot of these situations it come from also having neuropathy?
Yes, because
that's a hand-in-hand problem, right?
Yes. One of the things that happens with diabetics that are in poor control is that they don't have the same healing capabilities as usual, and they can also lose the sensation in their feet, which makes it to where if you have shoes that are rubbing in a place, you don't notice it. Or if you step on, because some people, they'll try to not wear shoes at home. The safest thing for a diabetic, especially a diabetic that has neuropathy, is to wear socks, diabetic socks, and closed shoes that come up to the ankle. And a lot of people don't like doing that. But you're even supposed to wear a hard-soled shoe at home. Because how many times in a house that you've lived in have you come across, walking across carpet and found a tack?
Well, or stepped on a Lego.
Right.
Or whatever.
You can do your very best to keep things as clean as possible, and you may still find that tack. But when you're diabetic, you might not feel that you found it. And now you have a puncture wound that isn't getting treated because you don't know that you have it.
And is getting compounded and, infected, and then bam, before you know it, there goes your big toe or your whole foot or whatever.
And so keeping your sugars in a good range, you're less likely to need amputation. It's those high sugars, not treating your sugars, right? And that means making big lifestyle changes, because most of your sugars could be better if you did better.
See? She's got that whole mom thing, right? You know better. Okay. All right. So there are ways to combat diabetes.
Yes.
All right. This is something that is very treatable.
One of the big things that I try to push is, one, I try to give my diabetics the best care that I can. And two, I'm very aggressive in identifying people that have pre-diabetes. So that high risk for developing diabetes in the next few years. 1 in 3 adult Americans have pre-diabetes. And do you know who you are? And it doesn't always look like what you think it looks like. So I'll be open and honest with my own personal history. In my first pregnancy, I had an abnormal sugar test. We test all moms in their 3rd trimester. And I didn't just fail. Failing is like either some people use 135, some people use 140. Mine was 175. I failed really good. And at that time, I was probably at my peak fitness. I was doing CrossFit, exercising. I was running because we were in Kansas and it was flat, so it was super easy. I didn't have any other kids, so I just had dogs that needed walk, so I just ran with my dogs all the time. I was working. I was eating probably as healthy because I didn't have to try to make up for kids that don't want to eat a million things. And so
there wasn't a bunch of Lucky Charms laying around, you're saying, huh?
When kids are in the picture too, you always have to have meals ready earlier, and working all day is like you might not have that planned. So when kids aren't around, it's like you can come home and just cook something, because you don't have that pressure. So there's a lot of things to that. But I only gained 15 pounds the whole pregnancy. There's a lot of reasons for that. I wouldn't recommend it. Healthy for my body size would have been more like 30 pounds, but I was sick half the time. And so 30 pounds. So when I started checking my sugars after that test. So I passed my 3-hour test. If you have a diabetic screen that you fail, you get a confirmatory test, and that was negative. That alone, if you know a woman that has failed their 1 hour but still passed their 3 hours, so technically speaking, I was not a gestational diabetic. I am at higher risk for stroke in my lifetime.
And you would not have known this had we not gone ahead and got the test.
No. Well, had I not even had the pregnancy, so I was the picture of fitness at that time, and I started checking my sugars after that failed test, even though I passed my other one, because I wanted to not have high sugars. Because when a woman is pregnant and she has high sugars in that 3rd trimester, the baby makes insulin, and when babies make insulin, they make growth hormone. And that's when you get 9, 10-pound babies. It's because the baby's sugars are elevated, and they're compensating with increased insulin. And so the people that sound really proud about, I had all 9-pound babies, is like, well, that probably means you're going to have diabetes later.
Guess what?
You should probably be checked every once in a while. Like yearly at your wellness visit. But with that, it's like you can have some warnings out there. And so with that, I know that I have increased risk. So I eat more like a diabetic because I don't want diabetes in my lifetime. And I know that I'm going to be at increased risk versus women that never had that failed test. I know at least 2 women that are in their 50s. Both are extremely fit. Fitter than I am. Fitter than I could probably be in my lifetime. Right? And body weight, everything very healthy. Eats super clean. And they're both pre-diabetic. One runs 4 miles every day. You would never guess that she has it. And so when she found out, she was very upset because she does all these healthy things. And I told her, I said, if you didn't do all those things, you'd have been a diabetic missing a toe 10 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's very important to know your risk, because then you can really make changes based on that risk. And so it's important to me that I find those people that have prediabetes, because some people won't care, but there's a good portion of people that if I can tell you that you're that 1 in 3 that are at risk for diabetes in your lifetime, soda doesn't sound so good anymore, because soda actually increases your risk for diabetes, even if it's diet soda.
Well, sometimes, especially if it's diet soda.
It's like just drinking soda, your body thinking you're getting that much sugar at a time. I would treat high fructose corn syrup like it's rat poison. Humans are not meant to eat that. You don't find it on trees. It's a processed thing, and you'll cut out a lot of processed food when you get rid of stuff like that.
Absolutely. Now, is once a year often enough to get checked for prediabetes or for diabetes?
I would say that it depends on the person and what's going on. At least once a year, your insurance will cover it with a fasting blood sugar. And I would say that a fasting blood sugar by itself isn't the best test, but it's what insurance will pay for you.
Right.
But the second you've had an abnormal sugar, either high or low, then they would cover for A1C. And that's going to be your best bet, because that morning you went in, you might have ate healthy the night before or fasted like you're supposed to, and your sugar's good, but it might not be good after you eat a bowl of pasta.
Right.
Right? And so with that, knowing your risks, if you have a lot of diabetes in your family, if you're overweight, if you're sedentary, you don't live a very active lifestyle, then all those things are risks. If you're a woman that's had a baby over 9 pounds, that's a risk factor for diabetes, because it's a sign that maybe your sugars were higher than average during the pregnancy. And so it's important to know those risk factors, because then we can kind of adjust how we check you and how often based on what we know. So my people that I find are pre-diabetic and I follow them, if they're 5.7 to 6.4 is pre-diabetes with the A1C, and 6.5 and greater is diabetes. If you're at the low end of that spectrum, if you're 5.7, 5.8, let's check it once a year. That's fine.
Sure.
We can check it more often based on what people want. Some people, they find out and they want to give it 6 months of working out and check it again. Great. Let's follow that, because if that's improving, that's going to give you encouragement. And a lot of times I can see that. It's like, oh, well, now they're back to normal range.
Absolutely.
But once we get to like the 6.4 range, I'm not sure I want to go a year. not checking you for diabetes because
You know,
we're real close.
Maybe you ought to come back next week. Okay?
We're
No, I
real
mean,
close.
in all honesty, I mean, it isn't something that you can check at home. You can check your sugars, I mean, but you're not a doctor.
And it's not going to be the same as the A1C.
And you're not fasting
Just
every day.
Just that individual sugar check.
Right.
Now, I will say that if you ever randomly check your sugar and it's over 200, that's almost a guarantee that you have diabetes.
Okay.
Just about a guarantee. Your goal is that your after meals, 2 hours after meals, it would be less than 150, and first thing in the morning, it would be under 100. If you were even in the 90s first thing fasting in the morning, I'd want to check an A1C.
There you go.
So your doctor should be able to help you with this, because identifying if you're at risk, then maybe we can prevent diabetes, then maybe we prevent all these feet falling off.
And if your doctor isn't giving you all of the information you need
to make healthy decisions,
maybe you should head on down to First Choice Family. All right, guys. Thank you, Dr. Smith.
Yeah.
All right, guys and gals, it's the Roundtable. Dr. Bryce, you got anything you want to add?
That's interesting.
Which?
The feet falling off.
We just talked about 12 different things.
Over 200.
Yes. That is 1,000 toes.
No, I meant the
sugars.
The sugar.
Random sugar.
Yeah, if you find yourself
a random blood sugar over 200 is grounds for probably diabetes.
So what's 123?
It depends on the time of day. So if that's within that hour of eating, then 123 can be very normal. If it's first thing in the morning, that's very abnormal. If that's a fasting blood sugar, that's very abnormal. But if you're
more like
anywhere,
in 90s in the morning.
So even mid 90s, I would want to make sure that the A1C was normal, because most of the time, first thing fasting without eating anything since in the 8 hours before the test, you should be under 90. But frequently, I'll check those people just because I'm aggressive about it and find that they had normal sugars.
What if you only sleep 4 hours?
Well, it's not really how you sleep; it's what you eat the time before that. So it doesn't really matter if you slept or didn't sleep. It's just that you didn't eat for the 6 to 8 hours before the test.
All right, we managed to clear that up for you, Dr. Bryce?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And even if your after meal sugars were between 150 and 200, I would still want to check an A1C.
Check those A1Cs.
But the random sugar over 200, if I see that, I could actually diagnose diabetes just with that.
Okay. Get that wellness check.
Yes,
all right?
every year.
It's important.
And your insurance may even give you like a gas card.
Oh yeah. I mean, and if you've got multiple, like I get paid to go see the doctor.
Yeah.
My Aflac.
Yeah, and Aflac will pay you good for having your wellness. I think it's like $75.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the other insurance takes care of the doctor's visits.
Yeah, the wellness is covered fully by your insurance. And I knew a young woman, so most of the time my young visits are kind of boring because it's like, eat right, exercise. I know you're not going to try to sleep well. But, most of the time their blood pressure's good and their cholesterol's good, and I do all this screening and I don't really do anything. But this young woman, I started hearing her family history is like, you need testing for cancer, and find out that she does have a gene for increased risk for cancer, the BRCA gene, which is the main pathologic one. And so now she gets to make choices and know her risks for that, and it can change. Maybe she doesn't have to get breast cancer before we, she may be able to go ahead and have a preventive treatment, or her monitoring may be different. She may not have to have symptomatic breast cancer before she finds out she has a gene for it.
Okay. All right, guys. It's the Roundtable. If you've ever got any questions for the doctor, you can always email those in to me at Y95morningshow@hotmail.com, or you can call the DJ line, 836-9559. We've got that anonymous text line, 501-313-0944. We watch the Facebook page and TikTok and the Twitter and the
X now.
The what?
It's X now.
Not Twitter.
Yeah, but if I say X, people...
X formerly known as Twitter.
People think I'm talking about something wordy-dirty or something like that.
It sort of is sometimes, just so you know.
You're never more than 3 clicks away, baby. I guarantee that. So, it's the Roundtable, brought to you by St. John's Place in Fordyce and Washington Nursing and Rehab in Camden, First Choice Family Care, OCMC's CDU, Mitch Lowe's Body Shop, Everybody's Antiques in El Dorado, Storage Floor and Carpet, and Cabin Rural Health. You guys hang out. We'll be back.
Ladies and your name here News Talk 92 KBEU Bearden. News Talk for South Arkansas. News Talk 92 KBEU. Hello, South Arkansas. I'm Doc Bryce.